Those who have been following the markets can feel the change. Under the surface, a huge formation is taking shape. Even if you read 100 news stories and hear 1,000 different points of view, you can always tell when the tide is changing in your mind. As the background noise goes away, trends start to show up in the charts, and the numbers tell the story. Next, this isn't just a story. Chance and preparation meet. People who keep an eye on XRP may have seen one of those coincidences that happen once every generation. This is not a good way to spend your money. Even though XRP has been going up recently, not everyone is paying attention to it. The reason is its rise. Structure, stability, and support levels that stay in place even when the market goes up and down are all signs of power. XRP has gained almost 6% in the last week and is now worth $297. This is the kind of stability that usually comes before a bigger rise. But I've made something to help you if you're serious about finding out what this change means, why it's happening, and where you stand in the long run. The XRP Millionaire Blueprint is the name of this plan. It's a complete plan that spells out XRP's long-term goals in the world of foreign finance. This special movie, along with a document and a nice infographic, will show you how XRP can become the most important digital asset in the next 10 years. Attached to the comment below is the file you need. This is what most people are missing. Watch it after the movie to find out. More people than you think care about where XRP stands right now. When you study market cycles for a long enough time, you start to see trends. Move from building up to breaking out, from settling down to retracing, and finally to growing. Not much has been said about XRP lately, and the cryptocurrency seems to be moving into a time of quiet growth. At this point, there isn't much excitement, so most small buyers don't bother with it. That is, however, the area of smart location. The interesting thing is that XRP has been slowly getting stronger. While everyone is talking about how to make Ethereum better or how Bitcoin is taking over, Ripple has been working behind the scenes to link itself with global liquidity providers, strengthen its ties with financial institutions, and create payment corridors that work across borders. None of that is just a guess. There is infrastructure like this, and that's where XRP's real promise lies. As an example, interoperability is often talked about when people talk about the possibility of future instant worldwide payments using CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, or large companies' remittance systems. No matter how fast the blockchain is, it won't help if it can't talk to other networks or traditional banking systems. That's the main reason the XRP network, or XRPPL, was made. To quickly and cheaply send money across countries with the most liquidity possible. This is why a lot of early investors are still sure they should hold on to their shares, even after a few cycles. XRP doesn't even want to compete as a joke coin or a simple way to store value. Its main goal is to build the infrastructure for digital banking systems. When you look at the big picture, that part could become very important. Let's start by looking at the big picture. Every day, trillions of dollars are sent from one country to another. The foundation that the current system is built on is very old, not very useful, expensive, and full of problems. The big banks, government bodies, and other groups know they need to make changes. It's not a matter of if, but when. And in that way, XRP's tech stack is a lot better than the rest. This is the reason why long-term buyers talk about XRP in terms of multiples instead of pennies. They don't want $1, $2, or even $1. The long-term price could be $10, $15, or even $20, depending on things like how well it works, how much people want it, and how quickly people accept it. That's not just a dream. This is what they think will happen based on how many deals are possible. The markets don't always move in straight lines, though. There will always be retracements, consolidations, and shakeouts. Still, these kinds of events don't last long in the big picture. Anyone who has a good sense of the direction of real growth is in the best situation because they are focused on areas where things are gathering. When they do retracements, they stay calm. If you've seen how Bitcoin and Ethereum behave during big market growths, you may be able to spot the trend. Like the waves, Ethereum works in a similar way. As it goes up, Everything else floats up with it. There's a difference in how much different assets are worth, though, because as an asset becomes more popular, its use case speeds up. Few investments do better than expected. One of these things is XRP. Even though Ethereum is selling for about $4,400 and Bitcoin is pushing about $121,000, both are helping the market go up. How XRP keeps up with them while still following its own trends is what's interesting. That makes you strong. Market growth and decoupling practices happen at the same time, which is called synchronicity. It's important to note that XRP has large liquidity corridors with a lot of companies right now. When the bigger system starts allowing cross-blockchain transactions, XRP won't have to set the stage for them to happen. Everything is set up, it's all set up. We can now talk about growth. That's what makes this time period interesting. Analysts are talking about how XRP could hit new highs, but it's not just for shock value. Even if XRP only owns a small part of these markets, the sheer size of the institutional settlement flows or the global remittance market could make its value much higher. But in this case, strategy is important. Smart investors know that following is not necessary. Prepare. Over time, you start to understand. Once you know how much to hold safely, you can relax and let the system adjust itself. That will help you stay calm when market prices change, which buyers often have to deal with. What matters is belief based on facts, not feelings. Take a step back and look at the market as a whole. How is it changing? The Federal Reserve's latest rate drop added cash to the economy and sent a message that interest rates would be lowered. Risk on assets like tech stocks and cryptocurrencies has always been higher when the weather is like that. When you think about the trillions of dollars that are coming into circulation every day, you can start to figure out where the next big wave of cash might go. That liquidity will get to the coin markets in the end. When this happens, the most hopeful projects tend to rise to the top. The market moves forward because of Bitcoin, which acts like a tide and a force.